We've seen plenty of PlayStation 5 leaks over the last few months, but something is different about the latest leaks from Twitter user PSErebus, who claims to have inside knowledge of Sony. They're much more detailed than anything we've seen before, which has us thinking that they may very well be legit. But of course, you can't believe everything you see on the internet. We haven't heard much from Sony since their Road to PS5 event all the way back in March, and if we're being honest, we were pretty bummed not to see what the console looks like. Seriously, we're around 6 months away from the launch of the console and we still don't know what it looks like. While Sony has been pretty quiet, leakers have been going absolutely wild lately, and PSErebus is no exception. According to them, we should circle June 2nd, 2020 on our calendars because that is when we're finally going to get our first look at the PS5 design. We seriously hope this is true because we've been dealing with design leaks for what seems like an eternity now, and only 2 of them have really stuck around. The first design looks like those very interesting V-shaped dev kits that Sony shared with developers. Since they patented the dev kit design, this got many people thinking that the final design of the PS5 will look a lot like the dev kits, and well, we sure hope not. The V-shape is definitely unique, but that's really all it has going for it. The second design leak looks like a thicker PS4. Think of the thick boy that's the PS4 Pro, but even thicker. Yep, that's this patent, and we gotta say we definitely prefer this look. It stays true to Sony's style and looks really, really good. It's also entirely possible that none of these are the final PS5 design, and it'll look more like the Xbox Series X than anything else. Seriously, did you see the size of the PS5's heatsink? There's no way it could fit into some of these concept designs. Honestly, we hope we get a look at the PS5 design on June 2nd because we just can't handle these leaks any longer. We want answers and we want them now. That being said, like we mentioned earlier, you can't believe everything you see on the internet. We dove deep into PSErebus's tweets and noticed that he has no history of leaking accurate information about the PS5 or anything else for that matter. Most of his tweets are quite vague, but since May 5th, the day he tweeted that Sony will reveal the design of the PS5 on June 2nd, he has sent out a lot of very informative tweets. There's nothing remotely vague about them, which has us thinking differently about his recent tweets. He says that Sony will only start taking PS5 pre-orders once the console design has been unveiled to the public, so don't expect to be able to pre-order the console before June 2nd. Earlier leaks talked about March as a possible time for pre-orders to start taking place, but clearly they were wrong. A June start date for pre-orders makes much more sense. PSErebus also mentions that some PlayStation 4 games will take advantage of the PS5's boost mode on November 20th, 2020. Why November 20th specifically? Well, that's because it's the date he expects the PS5 to launch. This definitely lines up with some other leaks about the launch date of the PS5, and is right at that 2020 holiday season mark, so it's believable. But back to boost mode. If you don't know anything about boost mode, well, it's fairly straightforward. Boost mode will boost visuals and frame rates for games, allowing them to both run and look better on PS5 than they did on PS4. It's essentially going to take advantage of the PS5's more advanced hardware to make older games look their best. PSErebus then listed 20 games that'll take advantage of boost mode on PS5, and we're going to name every single one of them, so you don't have to bother looking them up. You can thank us later. Expect Ghost of Tsushima, God of War, Death Stranding, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Marvel's Spider-Man, The Last of Us Remastered, The Last of Us Part 2, Horizon Zero Dawn, Bloodborne, Red Dead Redemption 2, Uncharted 4, Infamous Second Son, Resident Evil 2, Kingdom Hearts 3, Crash Bandicoot N. Sane Trilogy, Borderlands 3, Dreams, Gran Turismo Sport, Killzone Shadowfall, and Control to all take advantage of boost mode on PS5. That's a solid amount of games. PSErebus also believes that PlayStation Official Magazine UK will feature the final design of the PlayStation 5 on the front cover of issue 176. This magazine will then be available both digitally and physically sometime in June, so you could see every inch of the hopefully beautiful PS5 design. PSErebus also shared with us that most of the top 100 PlayStation 4 games will be playable on the PS5, but we already knew that, so it's not much of a leak. Don't worry, he didn't give out a list of the top 100 games, so we will not have to read them all out for you. Now, there is a good chance that all of this information was made up in an attempt for PSErebus to build up more Twitter followers. But it's the details in these tweets that has us thinking otherwise. These aren't your typical tech insider tweets. These are incredibly informative tweets that are pushing the 280 character limit. He mentions the PS5 design reveal date, June 2nd, 2020, and the PS5 launch date, November 20th, 2020. He even mentioned when and which games will take advantage of the PS5's boost mode. Heck, he also told us when the PS5 will be on the cover of the PlayStation official magazine, along with the issue number. On top of all this, everything seems to add up with earlier leaks. As much as we think these leaks are false, we really hope they're true, because that means we only have to wait one more month to finally feast our eyes on the PS5. June 2nd can't come soon enough. And that's everything we know about